Being Mrs Gandhi is really special. अरे भाई अपने को ये नहीं चलेगा, हम तो भाई ऐसा ही करेंगे, अपने को क्या है, अरे we are like this only up.
And we're very happy to support HuM.
No better than HuM Theatre.
In a space like this beautiful old Parliament House here at the Arts House.
That's a very large reach that we could give Singapore content.
हमारा wedding देखो, it's that kind of scene. So yes, here comes the bride. Nagamandal, written by the legendary Girish Karnad.
During this particular COVID period, we created a special grant called a digital presentation grant, and many arts groups, covering all the different art forms have tapped on this. Cultural activity is so important to uplift our spirits, to remind us of who we are, and also because COVID meant that a lot of us were stuck at home, right? It was so important to have the arts continue to communicate to the audience, and we're very happy to support HuM. But they're not the only arts groups. We're very happy to say we've supported quite a few arts groups to think about how they can record their art forms, whether it's theatre or dance, in a space like this beautiful old Parliament House here at the Arts House, to think about how that content can be then transmitted through the digital means.
So, Zee has always been an innovator in programming, and I think we've been a pioneer. We're very proud of doing that. And during these tough times, we had to innovate even more. So this was a partnership that came about where we thought of this brand umbrella called TtoZee, which actually means theatre to Zee. And the idea was to bring theatre to the audiences or viewers that have not had a chance to, either experience or see this content. And no better than HuM Theatre, right? They're a very credible theatre production house in Singapore. And I think one of the biggest things was that can we take this content to our larger markets beyond Singapore? As you know, Zee TV APAC reaches 17 countries and we have almost over 9 to 10 million viewers. So that's a very large reach that we could give Singapore content.
We produce plays with Indian sensibilities, but they're universal subjects and they are in English. The plays are in English, so that we just hope that it can become more international. Having said that, in our little red dot, we produce these plays which then remain in our little red dot, because at the end of the day we have very limited Indian diaspora or theatre goers, comparatively. Now, COVID happened and COVID really turned our lives upside down, because suddenly some of the shows that we had in the pipeline, they were cancelled. And then you're sitting at home thinking, hey Bhagwan, मर गए ना, अभी तो कुछ नहीं होगा, वैसे भी काम करो तो limited audience, अभी तो काम करो तो कोई है ही नहीं. And then this collaboration, this idea came up with Zee. And suddenly you're looking at a totally different scenario. You're looking at our plays reaching to 9.6 million viewers. The plays that we've chosen actually are very emblematic of our culture, because we've got drama, we've got comedy, we've got folk. So we pick plays which we know would resonate with diverse audiences and have a taste of each different form of drama. So let me start with Being Mrs Gandhi. Being Mrs Gandhi is really special. Being Mrs Gandhi is a play which was created and curated for the 150th birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Now, till today, of course we know about the Mahatma, but in this case we wanted to do it from the eyes of this woman who was there with him every step of the way. She was there with him through thick and thin. She was there with him whether she really wanted it or not, because that is what the relationship was all about. And so we saw it through the eyes of his wife, Kasturba. Being Mrs Gandhi is a journey which began with this couple in 1883, and the journey yet continues, is in the heart of every Indian. And the reason why we chose this play, Being Mrs Gandhi, to be the first play is because this subject of Mahatma Gandhi is one that will resonate with all Indians across the world and universal. Second, we come to We Are Like This Only. And we are like this only was a play that we did. It's about immigrants. It's about Indians who go all over the world and make homes in different countries. And they're very successful. And they do extremely well. And they get along with everybody except the Indians. So, you see, in Singapore, a while back, this topic was quite hot, if I may say, about the old Indians who have lived in Singapore for many, many years, have their roots here. And, you know, the all new Indians coming in, also wanting to make Singapore home or coming for a short-term visit, and the different cultural differences, and, you know, like the really what happens. Comedy, but it's comedy because it's seeing these differences, this angst, this, अरे भाई अपने को ये नहीं चलेगा, हम तो भाई ऐसा ही करेंगे, अपने को क्या है, अरे we are like this only, हाँ बाप, अपने को मत बोलना, you know, all that we are seeing in the eyes, I mean through the eyes of comedy, but the subject yet is something to think about. The third play, Nagamandal. Nagamandal, written by the legendary Girish Karnad. Nagamandal is a folk play, and who doesn't like folk? This folk story, which is a mystical story about a woman who falls in love with a cobra. But it's not as simple as we see it, because once again, there's always a layer. We are talking about the Indian psyche, where women are seen as sexual objects. Women are seen as maybe you could abuse them, throw them away, maybe there's a housewife, maybe she's here to do the chores, one dimension of the woman. And the other dimension is woman as goddess, woman as Durga, woman as Parvati, woman as the one who can destroy evil. And so beautifully in this folk story, you see these different dimensions of the same woman. So it's a very mystical play. I mean, who doesn't like folk stories? Huh? Henna? So that's Nagamandal. And finally, we come to Here Comes the Bride. Na 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 swaha. That play. But the thing with Here Comes the Bride, again, it is set like a reality wedding. I mean, we actually had guests who were invited, and we had a buffet dinner after that, and the whole idea was it is a story about an Indian wedding. And you know, Indian weddings, those stories are always entertaining. You can never go wrong with an Indian wedding, especially when the bridegroom's father goes a bit nuts. Because poor thing, he's been spending and spending and spending to get this marriage off, and all there's gadbad, there's chaos. So obviously that is already a platform which is set for great comedy to happen. But Here Comes the Bride is very experiential, you know, because we've done it with the audiences being like invitees to the wedding. And the wedding is not any ordinary wedding. The wedding is with the Thappars of Delhi. So how, bhai, hamara wedding dekho. It's that kind of scene. So yes, Here Comes the Bride. If you like the interview, and of course you did like the interview, please press the like button and subscribe to Connected to India's YouTube channel. Enjoy. Thank you.